Several Minnesota Democrats have been subpoenaed by the Justice Department. There are allegations that they conspired to obstruct ICE operations in the state. Former acting ICE Director Jonathan Fahey joins me now. Right, Jonathan, Minnesota Democrats have been subpoenaed. All of these subpoenas, what's next? They've all got a couple of senior people have got subpoenas. Okay, what's next?
Well, what the DOJ is looking at is there evidence that they're using their offices to impede ICE? So they're probably going to be, talking to witnesses, but also subpoenaing documents to see if there's sort of coordination. I would look for things like, are they telling the police to not respond to ICE, to help them out? Things like that would be impeding. The other thing that I think that hasn't been talked about enough, but there's this alien harboring statute that is, if they're doing anything that is shielding or harboring illegal aliens from ICE, or encouraging or inducing them to stay in this country, or meaning Minneapolis in this case, that's called alien harboring, and that's a federal felony as well. So they're going to look at all of those things, and I think there may be some issues here for these officials just based on their public statements are very close to the line of obstruction anyway. So I wouldn't be surprised as behind the scenes there's more action going on to basically obstruct ICE.
But if you have sanctuary status, like Minneapolis is a sanctuary city, isn't that alias harboring?
I think that's a very good argument. I've made it many times that they are, in fact, a sanctuary city for the sole purpose of keeping illegal aliens in this country. And I think there's a very good argument that some of these these sanctuary city states and cities are actually doing that. And it would be worth looking into to see what the internal communications are. Are we doing this to keep illegal aliens in this country? Because outwardly they say it's a resource issue or we don't have to help issue. But if they are doing things to affirmatively keep these people here, I think they've got some issues.
Oh, they are deliberately keeping people here. I'm very aware of that. Come on. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, he's invited President Trump to his state to, quote, see their values in action. Can you imagine Trump visiting Walz in Minnesota? I can't see that happening, Jonathan.
I don't think so. Tim Walz really seems to be living in bizarro world with this whole thing, because remember, before all of this stuff happened, and we talked about it before, but in May of this year, he did a commencement speech calling ICE the Gestapo. Yeah. He's been out in front attacking ICE even before they were in Minnesota. So this idea that somehow let's see our values, meaning the values of obstructing law enforcement, are somehow paramount to the values that President Trump is enforcing the law, which is his constitutional duty, it's really shameful of Tim Walz. You know what's really interesting? They have released, I think the number is 470 people in their jails out into the streets rather than turn them over to ICE. And these were, President Trump talked about it. These are murderers, child predators. They'd rather put them back out in the streets of Minnesota than turn them over to ICE. Maybe if he changed those policies, things might tamp down a little bit too, but he's not willing to do so. This is more grandstanding and more nonsense from him.
After the demonstration in the church, the disruption of the church activity, do you see the public relations battle turning now against the protesters?
I think it is, and I think it will continue to do so, because the more people realize what's going on here, and also when people start realizing President Trump's first year in office, we have, since 1960, they've been tracking crime in this country, the FBI has. We have the lowest murder rate last year than we've ever had. So when people see the public safety aspect of what President Trump's doing, as well as the other benefits, and see how these people, how extreme they are, particularly things like this church stunt, I think the public relations and the polling will go back to President Trump on this, because people's lives are better off because of what he's doing.
We don't hear enough about the crime going down because of ICE and what the president's doing. Jonathan, thanks for joining us. Great day today, and we appreciate you being with us. Thank you.